Let's straighten up this pin. Clippers, medicine. Oh. Almost went smoothly. They all decided to escape. Shh, go on in. Who? Right, load in for some malting barley. Get that loaded up. I thought we'd done our last deal, but Sandy from Sellers has been out again and we bought something else. Something we've been meaning to get, and I've mentioned it a lot. Have a guess, it's blue. Put it down below. If you get it correct, then congratulations. Shiny, clean Fendt inbound. Kev's done with the hedge cutter, so he's taking it off and giving his tractor a wee wash. I'm going to get this pin back in and hopefully get maybe another load of cattle. Like a glove. Shed, the guys are just starting to put the sheets on today, so we started this morning at the roof, so smashing. We're doing the lean-to first, so it'll be finished tonight. No bother actually, it'll be done by the next hour or so. Then they'll get onto the main bulk of the shed, which, how long it'll take them. It was a wee bit of a hold up with getting roof light sheets. We got all the fibre cement sheets arrived, no problem, but there wasn't any roof light sheets, and you can't make any progress with these sheets if you've not got the roof lights. They go equally spaced along the roof. We're going with 20% roof lights, so it's just a thin perspex sheet to let light into the shed. But they didn't arrive on time, so that delayed the boys a wee bit. Didn't really have much to do one day. It's a bit annoying, but they've arrived now, so they're getting on. Panels, that's all the concrete panels, bar a couple in this corner here to go in. And they go to lean-to, they've started roofing that. Perfect. Once it dries up, I'll chuck the drone up again, but it's a horrible wet day again. Another one. It's a lot of netting, isn't it? Scaffold guys were in for, it took them 2 full days, 2 guys to do the whole nets, so it's a decent sized job. Quicker taken down, but yeah, fair job. These panels all get lifted into place with these inserts. They screw some eyelets into there and into there, and that gives them a point to lift off with the forklift. They've got a line across here. These panels are a bit thicker just because they're retaining panels rather than just the stock panels, which will sit above. There you go, easier to see over there. The thickness difference. 100mm on top, 150mm on the base, I think. Looks about that. Because the bottom one is to hold in material, and the ones above are just to hold in bedding from the cattle, and the cattle can push up against them, so they don't need to be as strong. So this corner won't be long in getting filled in. We're actually going to taper the floor, so the centre passage, it'll all run downhill a fraction out to the side. From the centre of the shed out to this retaining wall, or out to the edge of the shed, there is a 65mm drop we've decided to go for. And the reasoning, we have a scrape passage, and what we want the cattle to do is urinate in the scrape passage, and then that slope allows the liquid in the scrape passage to gradually make its way into the base of the bedding, and the solids stay in the scrape passage. That's the theory. Hopefully it works out fine. Got myself a steady hand. He's sitting in the corner with a We've got 2 big lorries on the road on the way. So I'm nipping along to yard 2 here. Gates and barriers and all sorts, and doors and whatnot for the shed from Bateman. So we ended up going for a Bateman install in the whole shed. If you're looking at Bateman stuff, ask for a guy, Chris. He kind of deals with North England and Scotland, but I think the amount of times we went back and forward with him to renew the design, I think it's one of the most he's ever had. So I think he was probably a wee bit fed up with us by the end, but anyway, he got the order, so he wouldn't be that bothered. Fantastic. 1 lorry load of steel, there's 1 more to come from the guys at Bateman. Just need to clear this space, we'll get rid of these sheets and put all the steel here, because the steel will sit for a wee while. Troughs right there, barriers. This row of sheets was just on a few blocks of wood rather than a pallet, so it's the most delicate we need to be. Tell you what, they're pretty heavy, these pallets of sheets. I didn't take them off. The shed builders must have taken them off, but damn heavy. Obviously the fibre cement, so they'll probably take quite a while to cure, and there'll still be a bit of moisture in there. It's still to draw out, and they're wet because it's wet. The first crate of gates and hurdles and all sorts. Oh, steady, steady. I was all for lifting them off by hand, but there is a lot of them, so we've opted for forklift. They went on with a forklift onto these crates. We need to empty, there's 4 crates we need to empty, and then the lorry driver can disappear. Kev's just getting a few bits of wood to plonk these down on so they're not sitting in gutters for a few weeks. We've got a creep gate here, so there's a creep yoke to go into that gap. 4 of these gates, I think, or 2. 4? 2, 4, 4. 1 pallet of diagonals. Whoa, Jesus. Steady does it. Right, these are some big doors, so we've actually ended up with double height doors. I'm not sure exactly all of what's what. Probably those ones with the latches there on the top. Some more diagonals. I think that's the last of the diagonals, and then there's loads of small fittings in these boxes. Bolts and posts, and there's some posts and all sorts. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. Shiny steel. Just getting these cradles out the road, and then we'll dump a couple of bales here so we can lean more gates against here, because obviously we still want that door to work. Don't want to lean anything against there. So that is a load of rails. So these are a load of feed barriers. We did spec, or we priced up locking yokes all the way along, but we didn't think we could justify the cost for the usage we'd get out of them. We've put in a good handling system, so we're not really needing locking yokes. So we just went for standard diagonals. They'll be plenty good enough. There's obviously there's a creep gate. No, that's a bull pen, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that can't be a bull pens because there's only 3 gates for the bull pens. That's head yokes. That's head yokes for the kind of creep area we've made. That's what they are. Okay, I've got it now. It took me a while to quickly figure out how things are going. I mean, we spec'd all this and designed this months ago, so half of it's gone out the other ear, but it seemed to be working at the time. Half of it unloaded, just chucking these bales in here. They've all got lifting eyes on them, these big gates. These are doorways at the gable end that takes the wind. We've got one end of the shed which is kind of completely open. Yep. And another end of the shed which is completely closed, because one takes the brunt of the wind and the other doesn't take any really. Last big 4. They're big hunks of steel, aren't they? It's just a frame with it's probably only a 1 mil thick or 1.5 mil thick sheet on it. Some water troughs and all sorts of posts and bits and bobs in there. There's 1, 2 of those kind of crates. 2 pallets of troughs there, another pallets of gates, and I think these make up the bull pens. And then there's something over there, I'm not sure what that is yet. So these are kind of self-contained troughs. So basically you mount, so it looks like there's 4 troughs there. So basically it turns up like that, and then they drink from that side, or if you look at the top one, they drink from that side and the cows can't get at it from the other side. That's the last big pallet load off of this lorry. One more lorry to come with, I think, 5 of these crates worth of gates. Keep coming. Whoa! Perfect. These are the head yokes for the bulls. So 1, 2, 3, because we've got 3 bull pens, and these are the gates at the front to get the bulls out of the pens. And the width of those 2 together, so they join together, you end up with 10 foot. So it's 10 foot wide by 20 foot deep, the bull pens. No messing about. That's pretty much us unloaded, first load. So the guys just said the next load will be in tomorrow morning. Crack-a-lackin'. Lorry empty. 2 racks to go back on. We're going to keep, there's 2 of these, we're going to keep them till the next lorry. Me and Kev will go and empty them, and we'll chuck the empties back on the next lorry that comes tomorrow. But that's that. 1 more load tomorrow, and then I think that's everything delivered for the shed. Everything's on site that goes into making this. I've got a few videos sent to me by Bateman of the manufacture process. I asked Chris if he could send me a few videos when it was getting made. So here you go, here's a few clips. Some people are probably asking why we ended up going with Bateman. We got a few guys to quotes. It was all much like Bateman were pretty on the ball, keeping things going and happy to come up and on site quite regularly, and also went up and saw a shed up north when I was going around various sheds. Well built, nice system by Bateman. That's why we're with Bateman.